Hi, one of my student asked this question about automating the pagination. Initially, it looks very simple, but as and when you start automating it, you will start seeing the real-time challenges. Okay, in this video, I'm going to discuss what challenges we face it, what should be our approach, and what is the solution. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to visit this web page. Let's run this code and see that. So here is a website where the requirement is if I close this pop-up, okay, and scroll down a bit, you can notice the pagination, right? Page 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. The requirement is I need to navigate to each of the pages where it may not be always a 6 page, okay? So I'll be keep navigating to the next page, right? Click next, scroll down, click next, and so on. Till I reach the end, I should be able to navigate it. So this was the requirement. Okay. And at the first glance, it looks like very simple, but let us see. Okay, so how do we approach it? So already I have written a program for opening the browser and entering the URL, right? So taking this to the next level. So let us run it and start again. Okay, and remember this, especially this particular topic requires a lot of patience. So you need to watch each and every steps till the end. See that. Okay. The first and foremost thing that I recommend, okay, is we need to handle this pop-up. This is called as hidden division pop-up or HTML pop-up. So in this case, usually you will have a cross in the top corner, but in this case, there is something called no thanks. Let me just inspect this. Okay. No thanks. And as you can see, I prefer to go with the XPath. So button text function is equal to no thanks. Yes, and luckily, and not only it is matching, you should also look at how many matches, which is 1 out of 1. Okay, just copy this. Go here. That's right. Driver dot find element. Y dot XPath dot click. So the first thing that we are looking at in this example is HTML pop-up, or also called as hidden division pop-up. So how do you handle it? It's as simple as a normal cell name code. So whenever you come across any HTML pop-up, so we handle it using driver.find element. Let's see the next step. So it opens. Yes, as you can see, the HTML pop-up has been closed. So now let's scroll down and try to click on this next button. Okay, remember in Selenium, in most of the cases, it will scroll automatically. It will scroll till that particular element is displayed. So we need not worry much. So let us take this. I'll inspect it. I can see there is a link with the title next. Okay. Oh, there is a span. Let's go with the title next. /a, which indicates a tag where title is an attribute. So next I should use @ title is equal to next. And is it matching? Yes, it looks like it is matching, no doubt about it. But as I said, so you should be worried about even number of matches also. So 1 of 2. So let us see, is it a correct one? So this is the first one, right? And let me just click here. It's a second one. So I'll just repeat it. So this XPath is matching with more than one element. Of course, there are many approaches for it. But as of now, So I want the second one. How do I know? 2 of 2. When I place the mouse pointer, it is highlighting in the page. So I'll go with the global index, also called as a group index. Let's say yes. Let's write a code for that. So driver dot find element by dot xpath, and I'll write a code called click. And the thing in Selenium is, I think you know it better. Every time when we write a program, we have to rerun it from the beginning. Right. So let's run this. There is no option to continue from the middle of it, right? So again, every time you have to open the browser, something like that. So hidden division pop-up, it is closing. Now it's supposed to click on and the pagination, and as you can notice that it is scroll down. You can see the position of the scroll bar. It is scrolled down a bit, but here I got an exception, right? Let us see what is that exception. Element click in, okay, so intercepted exception. Okay, so what it says, element click interruption. Okay, so it says this element is not clickable at the point, right? That means it says other element would receive the click. Okay, as you can see that what is other element, iframe. Oh yes. So if you observe, it clearly says I'm trying to click, but some frame is coming up here, right? So it is just blocking it. How do you handle it? So let us quickly see that. The first thing I always recommend is always try to have okay, so enough space. Okay, so what is the meaning of it? Try to keep the browser maximized okay position until unless you have a really any other reason, right? I'll say example, I'll say driver.manage.window.maximize, right? So always maximize it. Okay, and remember, chances are there the application may be slow, right? You may start getting no such element exception, whether it is required or not. Just to narrow down the okay issues, always make habit of putting implicitly wait. Okay, so driver dot manage dot timeouts dot and go with an option called implicitly wait. And as you can notice, in the older version of Selenium, which is 3 dot, okay, so we used to use implicitly wait with the long term and time unit. Okay, example, I used to say 10, and so here we have time unit dot seconds, right? This is in the older version, whereas in the latest version of Selenium 4, right, it is they have done a small changes to the thing. Okay, so I go with an option called implicitly wait. So here we have to write a duration. I go with an option called duration, okay, dot. So there are so many options are there, as you can notice in the screen. Right, let me just go through that. So I'll go with the off seconds, right? So how much? It is 10. So this is the first thing that you notice, right? They have one thing, please remember, when you see a line like this, it indicates it's deprecated. That means no longer supported. Can I use it? Yes. For a backward compatibility, you can use it, but not recommended. And the question is, did they change anything in the Selenium 4? Okay, internal changes? No, they have not done it. The behavior, the workflow, everything is same for implicitly wait. Only the syntax changes they have done it. Okay, so this I'm going to comment it. This is the older version of Selenium. I'll do that. Okay, so let's quickly run it. Of course, I have this doesn't affect anything in the code as such. So it will open the browser. The only thing that you can see is it will maximize it so that it will occupy the whole page, right? Whole screen it will occupy, and it will have a better visibility. So first we got a HTML closed, okay, and as you can notice, it is automatically scrolled, and here it says, let's go back and check. So there is an exception, and the exception says element, okay, click intercepted. That means somebody else is okay blocking. Okay, and it clearly says it is not clickable at the point. other element would receive the click. Okay, what is that? Iframe. And you know that, okay, nowadays you don't see much of the applications using frame, but let us see what is that. Okay, so you can see it on the screen here. There is some kind of a pop-up. Okay, got any questions? I'm happy to help. This is the one which is blocking mostly, right? So in such cases, let us see how to handle it. So when I try to right click, you will see that view frame source, right? Let me try to inspect it. Right. So probably it's hard to inspect it, right? No, I'm not getting it. So this is these kind of a challenge we face it in the real time, right? So I'm not able to inspect it properly. So let us do one thing. Just give me a sec. Let me run the code again. So let's try to inspect this element. I'll keep it to the bottom so that I can see that. So as you can see, you are unable to inspect it properly, right? It doesn't know what is happening. So what should be my approach, right? Let me search, since the exception itself gave the hint, there is a frame. Let me search for iframe, right? So here is something called iframe. And how many iframes are there? Let us cross check that. As you can see that there is an iframe here. This is the second iframe that you're looking at. Mostly the first one is, okay, it's hidden anyhow, displays none, it is not visible. So even though actually there are two frames are there is only one frame which is visible. And when the frame is visible, unfortunately, I don't know what is the content of it. As you can notice in the screen, in the tree structure, right? This HTML tree, I don't see the details of it. So how do I close this, right? So in such cases, right, let's see how to tackle this situation. So I'm going to comment this code. Let me say driver dot find elements. Let us find out how many frames are there. Y dot xpath / iframe dot size. So this will tell me how many frames we have. Let's print out number of frames that we have, and let me close this browser once done. Let me just run this. Browser is open, application is launched. I should see the header division pop up by any times, right? Now you can see another problem. Header division pop-up is not displaying it. So this is how the problem that we face it. Let me just close it. Let us rerun this. Okay. So while writing the code, so we should do some kind of an R&D. It takes a lot of time. You need to have a patience. Okay, so here is another challenge. So I have an hidden division pop-up. Sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't appear, right? So now what is happening is it is waiting for 10 seconds. Even after 10 seconds, I'm not getting it. So I got an exception right here. So how to handle such thing? So pretty simple. Just put a try catch block. Right, and let me just put it. Let us specify here no HTML pop-up. That's fine. So these are all advertisements. Sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't appear. Something like that. So in this example, let me rerun it. Yes. Okay. So there is no HTML pop-up and there are two frames we have it. So in this example, I want this frame, right? So let us inspect it and let us keep it to the down so that I can see the screen properly. And let us search, okay, / iframe. There are 1 out of 2. This is the first one, and This is the second one. Okay, as you can see that the second one is the one that is required, and unfortunately there are no details are available. Okay, so in such cases what to do? So it's very simple. First switch to the frame. How do you do that? Driver dot switch to dot frame. There are many ways to switch, you know that. Okay, one is using index, second one is using id, third one is using element. I would like to go with an index. 0 is the first frame and 1 is the second frame. I want it. But after switching the frame, what shall I do? Okay, how do I get the content of it? And that is where you get an option called get page source. Okay, this is a trick you need to follow. Remember, when you are unable to inspect anything, okay, you're not getting any information. Okay, so you still want to get in-depth information about the HTML, the content. So in such cases, I'll go with this code. So I will say frame code, and let us get it, and let us print the content of it. Frame code, and once I get the frame code, let me close the browser. Okay, let's run this code. As you can notice, okay, it has executed. I can see the code of that frame. Let me just copy and put it in a WordPad or a notepad. Okay, there's so many things you can see that. Okay, and let me just search for this information. Okay, and just give me a second. Got any questions? I am happy to help. Okay, that is what it says. Let us see whether you can find out. Okay, I just search for it. Help. It's not there. Okay. Okay, so here it is. Got any questions? I'm happy to help, right? And the same thing is available here also. As you can see here, I'm happy to help, right? And yes, here is some button with the dismiss. Okay, let's go with this. I'll just take this and go with an XPath for it. Okay, /button @ just have this, just copy, and let's go back here. So I need to just close it. So let's comment it, which I'm not going to use it anymore. Let's say driver.find element by .xpath. Here is a xpath dot click. So what I've done is, after switching to the frame, when I inspect, I'm not able to get anything. So I took the help of get page source, get the whole thing. And once you say get page source, you will see the source code of the frame. And I've searched it. I find out that there is a dismiss button. Let us see what happens. Okay, in this time I don't want to close. Let's run this. Again, open. Okay, so close the hidden division pop-up, and as you can see that the frame is closed, right? It is bit fast. So to slow down, what I will do, I'll just write a code here, thread.link, which is actually not required, but just to slow down, I just thread.link, right? Let's run this code again. Meanwhile, let me close all the pages. Let's run this. And the right side, you can see that there is a pop-up. Pop-up is got closed. So let us quickly recall what we have done till now. So we have set the path, open the browser, maximize it so that the complete page is clearly visible on the screen, and implicitly wait to handle any no such element exception. Open the page, try to click on no thanks on the HTML pop-up. It is not there, so you can continue. And we have another pop-up, which is a frame. Switch to the frame and close the pop-up. And remember, don't forget to exit, come back to the page using driver.switch to .default content. And so let's run this and check what happens now. On the browser, enter the URL, close the HTML pop-up, close the frame. And as you can see, it is scrolling down, and here there is an option, sign up and points. Behind that, there is that pagination option, right? So let us see what happened. Okay. Yes, there is an exception, same element clickable problem. So there is no option for me to close this. So I need to scroll a little bit. So what I will do is, you know that in Selenium, if you want to scroll, we use JavaScript executor. So I need to go with the typecasting, go with JavaScript executor driver, and JavaScript executor dot execute script. And argument is an optional. How do you scroll? You need to inspect, go to second option called console, write a program example window dot scroll by, and some number I'll give it example 2300, just a number. Okay, so remember there are two ways, one is scroll to and second one is scroll by. Okay, so you just find out what is the difference between scroll by and scroll to. Probably I can explain it in some other video. So let's run this. It will be too fast, right? Just let me slow down using it, and then I'll click. Let's run that. So open the browser, close the hidden division pop-up or HTML pop-up, close the frame, scroll, click on next. Voila. So we are able to achieve it. Of course, the next challenging is how do I click? Okay, keep clicking on next, next, next till it appears, right? Because I don't know how many times I need to click. In this case, I can say it's a 6, but it may not be always a 6, right? So for that, I'll have a different approach. So what I will do is I'll just put a while loop here. So what I should do, wait and click, right? And so till this next element exists. So I'll just write a code, try and catch. Why I'm writing try catch? The reason is when you keep clicking on next, 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 right? Let's say you click next, and it will come down. So let's say 6. And as you can notice, now there is no next button, right? So till the next button exists, you keep clicking it. So here, so let us go here. I'll just print a message. Click next, right? And here, no next. So stop it. Don't forget to put a break or else it will get into infinite loop. So let's quickly recall for the one more time. After opening the application, if there is a HTML pop-up, handle it, and frame, you just close the frame pop-up. Then in a loop, you just scroll, click, and again scroll and click. Keep doing it until there are no more next button. If there is a next button, you just okay, break out of it. Okay, let's run this code. Open the browser, maximize HTML pop-up, close it, frame, close it, scroll, click next, again scroll. Oh, so in this example, as you can notice, so there is a problem in, okay, it says no next stop in it. So I think it's a timing issue. So probably I need to increase this. This is not a right way of doing it. Of course, you should go with an explicit wait. For a timing, I'm using thread.sleep. Let's run that. Yes. So now it is clicking. So loading is the one that is taking time. It is clicked on the fourth page. It is click on the fifth page. So now it is clicked on the sixth. Okay. And now let us go back and check. It says click next. It is searching for the next button, right? There are no more next buttons. So it says no next. So how long it takes? Probably it's a 10-second, right? That is because of the implicitly wait. Okay. So that's all. Let us see the challenging part again. So there was a hidden division pop-up or HTML pop-up. We handled it. Then it was scrolling, but the frame pop-up was blocking it. So we handled the frame. And the frame, the challenge is we are unable to see the content of it. So I took the help of get page source and see the content of it. And then there is another problem where there was another sign up issue, sign up element which is blocking. So we have written a code for scrolling and so on. How do you improvise this program? Okay, so I'll share this code and you can check in the description, or it will be shared in the GitHub also. Okay, in my GitHub repository. And you take this program and improvise it on two things. Number one, replace all the thread dot sleep with a dynamic wait. And number two, so don't hard code this scrolling 2300 rather than you have to say a dynamic scrolling. What is dynamic scrolling? Scroll and check next button is there or not. If it is not there, scroll down. So that's a dynamic scrolling, how to implement it, right? So if you want to see these kind of challenging examples, subscribe to this channel and comment on this video, whether you like it or not like it, anything is fine. And in case if you're facing these kind of a challenge, let me know. You can post it in the comment, or you can ping me directly. Let me share my number. Right. Okay, here somewhere in the screen also I display. You can ping me directly in the WhatsApp, or you can mail me to my email ID. Right? You can, whatever the challenge you're facing, you can just send it so that I try to resolve it. Okay, and send it back to you. Okay, and you can also visit our website, which is you can visit this website for post details and something like that. Thank you so much.